You know, we like to bring awareness to important issues. And this beautiful woman right here was one of the first celebrities to really start raising awareness about autism because it hit her family directly. We love her. We love her work, and it's such an honor. Actress and singer Holly Robinson Peete, how are you? Good morning.
I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and this is so important right now because we always talk about being inclusive, especially in the workforce, but there's one particular group that I think is definitely left out a lot, and not just in the workforce culture. So you have been working on building an inclusive workforce culture, and I love this with delivering jobs. And it's important to note that, 6.5 million people have autism or some form of developmental difference, and 8 out of 10 of those people, adult people, are unemployed because of that lack of opportunity. So can you tell us a little bit about how you became involved in and with delivering jobs?
Well, you know, I saw a PSA. It was as simple as that. I saw a PSA about delivering jobs, which was organized by Entertainment Industry Foundation, Autism Speaks, Best Buddies, and Special Olympics. And those are all organizations that I think are amazing. And I saw this PSA, and it blew me away. And I just wanted more people to see it. And essentially, there's so many people with different types of intellectual developmental differences or autism that do not have employment. Now, granted, there are a lot of neurotypical people who don't have employment. Employment is a rough topic right now. So this was a program that I was involved in before the pandemic, and now that we're trying to, ease our way out of this pandemic, I wanted to bring some more awareness to what delivering jobs is, and just talk about how more than 80% of people with autism and other intellectual and developmental differences are unemployed. They're not only a good employee, but they can be the best employee in the workforce. And I know this for fact because I have a son who 20 years ago, when he got his diagnosis of autism, we were told he would never have meaningful employment, that wasn't something we could look forward to as a family for him. And it was a sad day because I felt like, wow, he's 3, and you already tell me what's going to happen 2 decades from now. But he is now employed by the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's a clubhouse attendant, which means he gets everybody's clothes ready, he would die if I say clothes. Uniforms, excuse me. He gets the uniforms ready. I can hear him in my head. You didn't hear your kids in your head correcting you. Uniforms ready. He gets all of their things ready. And it sounds like a job that could be kind of easy. Oh, you just put stuff in lockers. It's so intricate. It's so specific for each player. And RJ has that brain that he knows of everything about every player. And they're always asking him, RJ, what's my birthday? Like, he knows everything. And so this has been a blessing. I cannot tell you what a blessing it has been for him to be employed like this. It gives him the ability to self-advocate. It makes him feel worthwhile. It makes him feel needed. He has friends now. He never had that growing up. So having a job is so important on different levels for people on the spectrum, autism spectrum, and other things because they're told they can't or are not going to be able to do certain things. They not only can and will, but they sometimes do them even better. So this was an initiative I begged to jump onto.
And what advice would you give to other parents of autistic children who want to help them find employment opportunities?
Well, for years I would just give my own advice, build a team around your kid, advocate, get out there, just talk to other employees and people in your neighborhood and to try to get your kid a job. But now, thank God, there's the Delivering Jobs website. If you go to deliveringjobs.org, what you'll see is there are all these resources for job seekers and their advocates. And then when you just look at the resource library and the pathways to employment, it's just such a huge source of resources right there for families. So these are the things that 20 years ago and even 5 years ago we didn't really have for our kids. So I'm just so excited. And then, ask companies and businesses you work with to sign this pledge, sign the pledge to be more inclusive in your hiring practices. And together we can all just change the way we think about ability.
I think this is a very powerful movement, and I'm so glad to have you on. We're on with Holly Robinson Peete. Before I let you go, I got to ask you, what projects are you currently working on?
Well, thank you for asking. I'm so excited about being a new addition to Season 5 of American Housewife on ABC. It's a really funny show if you haven't seen it. It's so much fun, and I love the two leads are two people I've worked with, Katie Mixon on Mike and Molly. I work with her, and Diedrich Bader, who plays Greg, her husband. Him and we worked together on 21 Jump Street, so we go all the way back to the 80s. And so it was great connecting with them, and love that. And I just completed some more Hallmark Channel movies, which has been awesome for me. I really love that whole energy there, and working on a couple Christmas movies and a murder mystery series, a morning show mystery series, which will air in May, end of May. So still working, still doing what I got to do, pushing through, and just feel really blessed about it.
And we will be looking out for every moment of it because, we love you. And I would be remiss if I didn't take advantage of this opportunity to see if you had a comment about everything that's going on with the whole Harry-Meghan conversation and Sharon Osbourne's comment. Would you like to touch on that a little bit or no?
Well, not really, Toni, but what I can say is something my mom has been saying for years and years, which is, I said what I said. And
no, that's right.
sometimes you have to speak and tell your truth, and that's what I did. I mean, there's not a whole lot more I can really add to it, and Lord knows a lot of other people have. But I want to be able to speak out. Just we're talking about workplace environments, and I think it's important for women, especially Black women, to be able to speak and feel safe and feel comfortable. So I said what I said, and I'm really glad that I did. I'm glad that I did, and I appreciate you asking me about it.
And thank you so much for answering it. And I'm sure with all of these new platforms that you have coming up, it'll give you several opportunities to educate some folks where they need it. So
yes, agreed 100%.
Oh, well, she is the one and the only. We are about out of time, but I just want to thank you so much, actress and singer and autism activist Holly Robinson Peete. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Toni. And make sure you go to deliveringjobs.org and check out more about this great opportunities and resources for employment.
Absolutely. Thank you. And have a great day.
You're welcome. You got it. Thank you so much. You too.